I'm back. I'm back. Hold on, we did that intro before. I gotta think of a new one. Let me think. You guys probably didn't hear that one. Farting in the mic, pretending to be farting in the mic. Okay, anyways, today is April 28th, 4:43 p.m. So today we're actually gonna invite some guests because we got some really really cool emails. So guess what? Here comes the guest. All right, here we go. Okay,
I see it, yeah.
so welcome a guest, Queen Dasha. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
I'm Dasha, classmate, and what do
And
I say?
cool. And she knows magic. She
Yes,
can
I
she
know
can
that.
delete stuff. Yeah. Okay. So this email we're gonna do. Let me read it out. Okay. Overall, do you
Okay.
think the internet serves as a positive benefactor for the current and the future generation of children, or vice versa? If yes, talk about the negative effects in internet has such as health factors, early dopamine receptors, addictions, potential negative influences from online friendship, and why do you think the positive one outweigh the negative? If your answer is no, talk about the benefits like information for early interest, potential good friendship, a good way to develop the brain when used right, and knowledge, and why these aren't enough for you to say it's more beneficial than it's not. Okay, so
Okay.
Dasha, what do you think about this question?
Okay. Um, Personally, I think that although the internet is a really amazing um, resource and there's so many things that you can find on there, at the same time, it has like a really dark side. And I know people need communities to stick to, and it's really easy to find it on the internet. So you can find like communities for anime or video games. But on the other hand, by using I was saying, when there's so many communities for you to find, I feel like people stop looking for communities in real life and for friends in real life. So they either go to the internet or their real life friends, which they don't make because they already have enough online friends. And another thing is that there's so much horrible content on the internet and there's no way to manage it. And it's so easily accessible. And people don't know how to manage their time properly, like me. Sometimes I get so sucked into YouTube, I end up watching it for hours straight and I start to procrastinate. And it's so hard to stop myself because it's so addicting and I have to turn off my phone, put it away, shut it off. I think that the internet is amazing, but we're not using it properly.
I agree with what you said. I think a lot of time when you walk on the street or you're in a subway, what everybody starts doing is scrolling their phone. That's pretty much what they do, and they don't really communicate with other people. They communicate other people using their phone. I mean, it is a good thing because maybe their friends is not they're not able to reach their friend IRL, so they use the internet to reach them. But another thing I want to say is that the internet gives us a pretty much a cover because we can be anyone on the internet. I don't need to be Jonas on the internet. I can be this podcast Jonas. Maybe this whole entire thing my viewers are thinking I'm actually fake. This is not how I act IRL. I'm actually a goofy kid. So that's one of the things I want to talk about. The other thing is that, as I mentioned, the dopamine receptors, addictions, all these, especially TikToks, YouTube Shorts, whatever you call it. I said that in the last podcast, last episode, and probably I told you this in class, Dasha. I feel like all these things never download them. Like I'm stuck. It's actually like drugs. I cannot get away from my phone. I look at my screen time. Every day I'm using Instagram around 12 hours just on Reels. I cannot get away like without using it. It's so addictive. So like,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? Dopamine receptor.
I mean, heck, Instagram has become this place with so much weird stuff. I remember a couple years ago, it was just for photography, and it was this innocent app, and now it's this huge corrupt mess with like political agendas and other stuff being shut down and like OnlyFans promotion. Ugh, I don't know. I try to stay away from it. Like, I think last time I had Instagram was in grade six. I've had it once. I uninstalled it because it's just, I was sucked into it. I was already addicted at that point, and I was thinking I'm not gonna be a good adult if I'm sucked into it, and I feel bad for myself. So I immediately uninstalled it. I understand. I see the appeal of it. I see the reason why you would want to have Instagram, and it's wonderful, right? All these people, like in school, people are able to make connections with students they wouldn't otherwise see because it's such a big school that we go to. But like I said, people don't use it very well. And 12-hour screen time, I'm guilty of it. I've been on my phone for so long sometimes as well. It's sad, but what can we do about it now? Because so many things are established on social media. If you just shut it all off, like what's going to happen to entertainment, for example, and celebrities, it's all going to be gone.
I agree with you. And another thing I want to add is that some people they care too much about their accounts. For example, on Instagram, they care about the number of likes they get. They might be unhappy because they see other people going out. It's fear of missing out, FOMO. I said before in the last episode, and I think it's it's really disrupting your mental because I experienced that before. I'm always like, what is my friends doing? Because I was in China, I was in Canada physically. Well, I wasn't able to meet my friends for 2 years. So every day we just use online as the a bridge to stay connected together. So that's my personal experience. So yeah, I also want to say thank you for sharing your personal experience, which is really fun. And
Yeah.
let's move on with other questions that has been asked. It says, uh, negative influences from online friendships. What do you think about that?
Online friendships. Oh my goodness. Well, I play video games, so I've had online friendships, and to be honest, every time I make friends online, I feel really sad because personally, I'm really reliant on like the physical, seeing the person in person, being able to make eye contact, being able to talk, go knock on their doors. Friendships are amazing because it's so easy to make friends with the same interests. But they're so sad because despite saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see you, we can hang out," you know that that's not gonna happen. Like, how many friends have you said that to, but you've never met them? Maybe you haven't even called them. Who knows?
I agree with that. And I think another thing it talks about negative influences, right? I think negative influences doesn't only come from online friendships. There are also bad influencers. You know, there are, YouTubers, for example, a lot of them doesn't give the right thinking for its viewers, and most of the majority, I believe the majority viewers are around teenage, and it's a bit younger than us. Maybe like 12, 13, 14, which they actually, I believe they listen to anything they see, they hear from the internet, which is what I think about negative influence.
I mean, yeah, these influencers. Uh, I know it's a free platform and you're allowed to post what you think, but a lot of people might blindly follow what the influencers are saying because it's children and they're impressionable and they're still new to the world, they're naive. They buy like the $40 merch, which is crazy. Who's gonna spend money on merch? I don't
I did that
understand.
before.
But
I bought like a Minecraft.
no,
I bought like a Minecraft YouTuber's shirt, and it's pink. So I want to
wait,
wear it on Pink Shirts Day, but I lost it.
who is the YouTuber? You might redeem yourself here.
I would love to wear it, like seriously, but I cannot find it. Maybe I lost it. Maybe like it just washed off all the pictures on it, so it's full black now.
It's all cheap quality, yeah. It's just a cash grab for the children who watch. But no shade for like the good merch out there. I know there's good merch, but I wouldn't spend money on an overpriced hoodie with some ugly design on it.
You're right, and they're taking their they're taking the children's parents' money. They're kind of like scamming. I've seen some like they will be like saying, "I need money, please donate me," something like that. You know what I mean? And you
Uh,
know, Oh yeah, you continue. My bad.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we can now talk about the good stuff because we've been talking about so much of the negatives.
Yeah, that's I thought that was what I was actually gonna say. That I was looking at the email. What do we want to start off with?
All right, let me read out what it says, okay? If your answer is no, talk about the benefits like information for early interest, potential good friendship, a good way to develop brain when used right, and knowledge, and why these aren't enough for you to say it's more beneficial than it's not.
Do you
So,
want me to answer?
yeah, you go first.
Okay. Potential good friendships? Of course, yeah, it's possible. I'm not denying the fact that you can make a lifelong friend on the internet, but that shouldn't be your priority. You should have a chance to make friends in real life. You shouldn't prioritize the online friends because the chances of that um, online friendship becoming a real life friendship is extremely low, and things can happen between people. I think it's kind of a waste of time as well as time zones and like investments into the friendship because you need to invest emotionally into it, right? And here online, you have to spend all your time in front of the screen. But of course, if you're able to manage yourself properly, again, everything comes down to management. If you make a good friend and you can keep in touch and someday meet in real life, sure, if that works for you, but that wouldn't be my primary choice personally.
I agree with you because I believe, the internet is a very, very good place for some people that doesn't like to, like, for introverted people, in my opinion. Because, like, it's just, I don't even know how to say it because I'm not introverted. So I cannot really stand as their perspective of looking at internet. But I think for introverted people, internet is a really good place because they don't need to, like, talk to people IRL. Like, it's hard to say, but, like, you know what I mean.
Well, in real life, you have to think super quickly in the moment. Like we're speaking right now, we have to think really quickly of an answer. But if we're talking on Discord, for example, and typing, we have a lot of moments to take our time and think of a good, properly formatted response. And in real life conversations, help you develop the skills of being able to think on the spot. Internet doesn't.
That's why this podcast is so good because there's no script. It's like comedy. I'm like those talk show comedy. I gotta come up with everything. Okay, so next one. Talk about the benefits like a good way to develop the brain when used right. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's amazing. I cannot tell you how many times somebody says something and I just have to pull out the phone from my back pocket. I have a literal encyclopedia with an answer to anything in my hand. It's insane. I love the fact that I can find anything and get an answer to pretty much anything, and especially like health-wise. You don't have to go to a doctor sometimes. You could just Google it and know what to do. Like, oh, take Advil, it's not extreme, blah blah blah. But I love it.
That's true. Also, I believe the internet like kind of breaks the language barrier. You know what I mean? No, there's so many people in the world. They can all stay connected. The internet should be like a big community, which everyone should have access to. Everyone can share their own opinion, everyone's thought. It's like an expansion of real life. That's my view of the internet. Maybe years
Yeah.
later, the metaverse will actually become what I'm saying right now.
Oh, please no. Please no, metaverse. Oh no.
Do you hate the metaverse?
I don't know, I just don't like the concept. It really creeps me out. I'm scared.
Like those super futuristic movies, and then they always talk about like how robot takes over. That's where that wouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen because, yeah, I said that in my other podcast on the Chinese one that my friend and I we talked about how there are some jobs that the robot cannot replace, which I told you in class, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Or
arts primarily.
yeah. Now let's talk about there's more. And yeah,
Like what?
knowledge. There's like knowledge. That's the last one, which you kind of answered it. But yeah, just like you said, internet can trans like they can transport a lot of knowledge in a because look in school we all use it like online, right? Our
Yeah.
teacher posts all our homework. we can just go and click in a thing. We can see all the PDF. We can see all the things we need, including the book we're reading. Oryx and Craig. We can search online about analysis about it. It's really convenient, and
Yeah.
I think for this question, we should always try to control ourselves from using the internet, but not like avoid it, because you're gonna get eliminated by the society if you don't use it, because everyone's using it. If you're not using it, people might think you're weird even. So what do you think? What are some ways for us to try to control ourselves from using the internet that much?
Number one is set limits for yourself, like screen time. Personally, my parents, they make me shut off everything at 9 p.m. And sometimes I'm so desperate. I'm like, Mom, 15 more minutes. I have to finish watching this Star Wars movie. And she's like, fine, fine. But I try my best to set a habit for myself to put everything away at 9. And the funny thing is, as soon as you put away all your devices, and it's like 9 or 9:15, you're gonna automatically want to go to bed. Today we talked during lunch about me going to bed early. I think the primary reason of me sleeping well is because I can put away all my devices, because I have screen time for myself to know how much I stare at my screen, and I'm like disappointed in myself if I go over 3 hours, because that's like what, 10% of my day, because I'm sleeping the other half.
I
Only way to
agree
do
with
it is
that.
self-management. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think for me, I'm the opposite of you. Even if I put my phone away, I still cannot sleep. I just keep thinking about it, because there's so much things that's online that's keeping me attached. But
Oh,
also for me, I don't know why, but I need to listen to music to fall asleep, or someone
really?
talking. Yeah. So the the podcast I'm doing right now is inspired from another podcast that people like. It's just goofy. It's a goofy podcast, but people listen to it when they sleep. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I wanna create a podcast that's like that. That's why I come up with this concept of this podcast. And my ultimate goal is like 10 or 20 years later, I can listen to my own voice to fall asleep, because I'm not gonna remember how I was like. So it's like listening to a stranger,
That's funny.
right? And then also, what I think about restricting yourself from abusing too much internet, maybe seriously, like, go outside more. Like, that's what people say to, like,
Yeah.
gamers, man. Go touch some grass. Like, it's not like, not like insulting you or anything, but like, seriously, go outside, go like walk somewhere, go with your friends, go to the gym, even go read some book. If you don't want to go outside, read some book. Because
Yeah.
my history teacher, yeah, do you know Miss Antonio?
I've heard of her, yeah.
Yeah, she's really nice. She just tells us, internet doesn't have everything. The good stuff is still in the book, which I totally agree. And
Oh yeah, because you have to imagine things. Sorry for interrupting, but you have to imagine things in your head when you're reading a book from the words.
yeah, and I think another thing is that I have a gaming laptop, right? So I game and I work at the same time. But this makes me want to play and work, which is not efficient at all. Comes up to
Yeah.
working. And what I think a ideal place is that you have a ideal way of working is that you have a place to for entertainment. You have a place for just work. That's why I kind of wish sometimes I have two laptops, one for gaming, which I have right now, so I just need one more laptop. And then maybe like an Apple laptop that cannot run any game. Okay, Apple laptop can run some games, but you know what I mean. I can take
Yeah.
that laptop out to like a park. I can get there, get a coffee, and sit on the bench and just start working outside.
That sounds
Which
nice.
also connects with what I said before. Go touch some grass. We can stay productive while touching grass. It just depends on how you take the approach.
Yeah.
Guess what?
I agree with what you're saying. Sorry. I just say yes and naturally when
I
speaking.
know. I was gonna say we're running out of things to talk about because we finished answering the question. Wait, but there's Queen Dasha. You sent me the question. Oh, we might just do this right now. Okay.
Sure.
What do you
I
think?
want to answer my own question.
Okay, okay. You can answer your own question. Hold on, let me read it out, okay? What do you think about Elon Musk promoting a lifestyle in which, hold up, in which it cuts off with which students, okay, students do not attend post-secondary school. I think post-secondary education is crucial and should be fantastic backup. What do you think?
Yeah.
Wait, no, actually, no, I should, because you're asking me that question. Wait,
Yeah.
hold up. What is post-secondary school? Is it like high school?
Oh, post-secondary education. So high school is called like secondary school. So post-secondary means college, university.
I got you. I think
Basically, what I'm referring to is I'll send you a video. It's Elon Musk saying how college is useless and university is useless and how you could establish your own life without it, which you could, but I'm gonna listen to your answer first.
I get what you mean. So, in my opinion, he's not just making BS. He's he has some sense because, and I'm gonna take it from my perspective because I'm Chinese and in China, students in high school every day they do is studying. I don't know if you know about this, but they study because they're gonna go for a test exam called Gaokao. Gaokao, the mark you get on that exam will determine which school you're able to attend. So every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week, they sweat so hard just to remember every word on their dictionary, every function. They use the time they just to write it one more time, five more times, seven more times, 10 more times a day. Every day they repeat this. And then I actually have a cousin that I believe he's gonna be doing the exam this year. I don't know how busy he is, but maybe I can interview him sometime. And also about the question, you know, go back to the question. Students in China they study just to go to a good university, which kind of I agree because I don't think like you should be forced to go to study or something because it's your own life, your own choice. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't take this education. I'm saying like for some jobs there isn't like that high of a requirement that you have to do it if you like you don't need a certificate for like some coding or whatever, you know, which coding not entirely. Some coders, they're soft talk coders, they can of course do some job, but companies maybe wouldn't pay them. But what I'm trying to say is that, for example, jobs like YouTubers, influencers online, they like most of the YouTubers didn't even go to like a university or college. They just come up with very good ideas and they learn from other people using the internet, which is also going back to the other question we talked about in the beginning. Another thing good about the internet is that all these resources that you can access to, they're really really fast. And you like remember the what's it called, the genetic engineering documentary um, on Netflix we watched in class. You know the guy,
Genetic
yeah, the
GMOs, yeah.
yeah, the guy he said you he said something like you wouldn't believe how much things there are on YouTube, which you know even
Yeah.
all these things you have access to is kind of creepy, but at the same time it's really easy for you. So going to Queen Dasha's question, I think Elon Musk. I think from the roots, it's Elon Musk's own opinion. Like everyone can agree to him or disagree, but I think he's not making like nonsense. He's making some sense, but that depends on if you know what you're gonna do, if you have a clear goal. Because in what my parents taught me, which I agree, is that you do what you're supposed to do at your age. Which at my age and your age, we're the same age, right? I don't know, but anyways, we're supposed to go to school, so we go to school. Yeah, because school in Canada, it's more like trying to let you find your own interest of what you
Yeah.
want to do later on in life. And compared to school in China, they study just to study. So that's my answer to your question, which I think he's not making random sense, he's making some sense. So, what do
Okay.
you think?
Well, I'm not saying everything Elon Musk says about education is bogus, um, but you have to remember that university and college degrees, they help you in getting a job that could be more well paid than jobs without a degree. For example, my family and I were immigrants, so my mom's degree and my dad's degree in Russia isn't valid in Canada. So they pretty much look like they pretty much have nothing here in Canada. So they have to work jobs like retail, which does not pay well. Retail does not pay well, and you have to build up so many ranks, and it takes so long for you to get to a pay which you could have gotten to very easily with a proper degree from university because you have a higher chance of getting that job. You need to know that Elon Musk's father owned, or partially owned, an emerald mine. Elon Musk wasn't filthy rich, but he wasn't poor either. He had a chance to not have to go to university or college and just stay at home with his parents and do whatever business stuff he does without having to worry about paying rent, without having to worry about helping his parents. He had that chance. So by telling other people and telling his like young fan base that university or college is not beneficial and that it's bogus is like horrible advice. Because I'm sorry, Mr. Elon Musk, but my family doesn't own an emerald mine. So by telling people, oh, don't go to university, don't go to college, start your own business, you're setting them up for failure. Because in the first place, they need to focus on actually being able to sustain themselves and then going to work on a business. Because if you're going to work on a business without having any money, first of all, your business is going to not be very good. How are you going to improve that business? And second of all, if that business fails, which Elon Musk's business didn't fail, it's very successful, but he bought other people's business, like he never made Tesla, but you need to have that safety net of an education. So if something does happen, you'll be able to go out and get a proper job to sustain yourself.
I agree with you, and I really want to appreciate you for like talking about this problem from like your perspective, because my family, my dad, my mom, my aunt, they all do business. They're all businessmen and women. So I grew up in a
Yeah.
family that that I also want to be my own boss. I also want to be owning a big company, which somewhat I kind of agree with Elon Musk, but I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not as smart as him. Elon Musk actually, I'm not sure which
Don't
university
say
he
that,
got
no.
into, but he pretty sure he got in and he dropped off because he knows what he's doing. But I don't know what I'm doing, so that's why I believe I'm still gonna do what kids at my age we should be doing, which is going to post secondary education, like you said. Yeah, and it really depends on like where you're from and what your parents has taught you. Because from my family, we're not like absolutely rich, but we're considered as rich in China. Okay, I'm not saying we're poor in Canada, but you know what I mean. Um, so China is more of a closed country comparing to the Western country. So a lot of people doesn't have the opportunity to go outside the country to see to see this world. See, because China isn't everything. China isn't the whole world. So I'm if I say this, I might get banned in China. But anyways, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful for coming out of China. Coming out of China. That sounds really wrong, but I'm grateful that I can go travel around the world. I went to many different places, which actually, speaking of my dream, what I want to do is that I want to do business while traveling around the world. I want to go to Dubai and just buy a house and like eat gold every day, man. Like that's my dream, bro.
Eat, eat golden frosted flakes.
Oh, seriously? Now it's just talking about my personal dream. We shifted from what online influence to Elon Musk promoting lifestyle to my dream.
Yeah, to your golden frosted flakes and Reese's Puffs.
What about you? What's your goal and dream?
Well, of course, I have like a dream that's like a dream, and I know it's a dream, and I'm slowly working towards it in the back. But I guess my fake dream well, I'm sure everybody in their mind has a career that they want to be in, like ideally. for example, like maybe I want to be the president, for example, which I don't, but I'm not gonna go around telling people that I want to be a president. I need something to that I could say that can be like a proper social.
Queen Dasha.
No, scrap that. I don't want to scrap that. I don't want to say something wrong, but
Okay.
my goal is to get an education in English, and if with that English degree, I can go into some job that requires communication, like business communication, but primarily I want to get a probably a bachelor's degree, start off with a bachelor's degree, and possibly get a teacher's certification so I could teach English. But of course, in case I don't want to be a teacher anymore, like I said, I could use my English degree for communications or journalism or literature related stuff.
I think that's really true. How you can, because it's like a safety vest, like we said before. That you always have a plan B if your plan A doesn't work out. For example, if
Yeah.
I'm doing business and I get a degree, I can still work for someone and make my money back. If I I fail my business, but I don't know why. But I kind of have an ego of saying I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make all the money, which I think sometimes it's good for you to have an ego, but like, I don't usually tell people this, but like, I just share this my thoughts about my ego, you know. So I think it is true. You should go to post-secondary education. Now we're just going
Yeah.
back to the question. I love my logic. My logic doesn't make sense.
No, 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 it makes sense. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen Dasha. Thank you, Queen Dasha.
Yes, yes, yes. Do we
Okay.
have any more questions? Or
Let me see. Do I have next questions? Let's see. Uh, Dude, we answered so much questions. Oh yeah. You know what? I'm gonna ask you one of the question
okay,
from a Chinese viewer that we answered before, but I really want to hear about your opinion.
okay.
Um,
You might want to translate that for me.
yeah, I'll translate that. But it's basically saying, what do you think about this age of fast? I mean, fast information, fast everything, fast service, and everything has a like a low patient. You know what I'm trying to say? I can explain
Short
it further.
attention span,
Pardon?
like the way we're being trained to have a short attention span with a very quick incoming speed of information.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. So, what do you think about this era or age, depending on what you want to say?
Um, well, I remember when I was little, my dad had this big chunky computer, and we would watch this cartoon on it, and there'd be this castle, and the castle door would start opening, and it takes like a whole 40 seconds for the camera to go up to the castle and for the door to open. I remember being so entertained, and I was like, "Oh, what's gonna happen when the door opens? Who's inside the castle?" But now, when I watch a movie, I notice that I'm kind of expecting things to happen quicker. So if I'm not being entertained quick enough, my attention span can't handle that, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's watch something else. Let's skip." And although as much as I love the way we can get information so quickly, it's a little bit unfortunate that so many of us are struggling with these short attention spans and having a hard time paying attention in class and finish watching videos or finish doing my homework without getting distracted by something. It's sad, but gotta practice training my brain, I guess.
I agree with you because, like you said about the movie, it's kind of like everything is basically copy and pasted. You know what I mean? Like they're using all the movies. They're trying to always have a rise and fall, always have a twist, and you can always kind of guess like who is gonna turn bad at the end. And like you said about the old movie, people like maybe even for some old movie that at the time the concept, the movie, the how it's played out back then, they would be saying that's a really nice movie. I never expected that because no one has been copy and pasted the same way that they filmed the movie, the same way the story goes. But nowadays, every movie they're always trying to do pretty much the same. I'm not saying that all the movies are bad nowadays, but like a majority of them is like It's like a fast food restaurant. Everything is being such a standard, which is pretty much this question is asking that. What do you think about this fast food standard age? I think, and I talked about this with my sister because podcast number 3 was with my sister, so we discussed about
Yeah.
this question. And one thing that I remember I was saying is that um everyone is trying to. Well, my sister said this actually. My sister said everyone is trying to be better than someone else. So if you don't wanna be better than someone else, then you gotta. If you don't wanna fall behind someone else, you gotta be better than someone else. That's what everybody's doing in the society. They're always trying to be better than someone else, and that doesn't only happen in, let's say, when you go to your job. That also happens later on, when even now in school. And also I think what I added to my sister is that there are 3 types of people, right? There is the one in the middle. They're they're like the normal guys who's trying to be better than everyone else. There's a top tier that's like Elon Musk, because they are very famous. They own a lot of things. They're very wealthy, and at the bottom are kind of like the weird nerds. I'm not saying I don't have anything against nerds, but like if they don't blend into society, they're whether gonna become people like Elon Musk or they become like nerds. Like it's my idea on about this. So what do you think
What do I think about what? Sorry.
about this? About how everybody is trying to be. It's more like this. They're losing their own identity because they don't want to stand out and become like themselves because they feel awkward. That's what I feel like about this age. So yeah,
Oh,
we're just
oh,
asking what
oh.
you think.
Well, I think it's human nature to want to be better, and it's a good thing, but it shouldn't be at the cost of your personal identity. Like you said, it's a good thing to want to improve, to have better marks, but you can't sacrifice your own like personal identity, decision, choice over beating somebody else. As good as it, excuse me, um, it can bring positive change to be competitive, but sometimes being too competitive can bring you down.
I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think we all gotta recognize what's our advantage and what we're good at doing. So we're all,
Yeah.
so we all will be, but we're all gonna be good at something that we like. And another
Yeah,
thing that
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
sister said in the podcast was that when my sister was young, she actually learned piano from like grade 1 to like grade 11. She's been learning piano for a very very long time, and she's enjoying it. And she's been on shows that finds like that builds like celebrities for kids, and she was on that show before, but this was she told me, and that's also in the podcast. But you don't understand Chinese, so you cannot listen to it. So I will quickly summarize what she said. She said, when you are basically on the path of chasing your dream, you will see a lot of other people that has the same dream as you, and you will see them as good as you, which makes you like which makes you kind of realize sometimes how bad you are at doing something. No, because you always want to be better, just like what we said, just like what you said before. Actually, um, being better is human nature. Everyone wants to be better. Everyone wants to be the best. And everyone want to be the biggest bird in the in the room. I don't know why I came up with that, but yeah, that's what I think, which is kind of sad, seriously, because a lot of people they don't know what they want to do, and what they're doing are not what they actually want to do, and they're kind of forced into getting a job that they don't like after graduating at university. Which I actually seriously, us talking right now, that I also said this in my other podcast, is that I'm trying to talk more than you. You're trying to talk, coming up with better concept than I did, which is what I'm doing.
Really?
Yes.
I'm just trying to answer your question well. I wasn't thinking of it that way.
Yeah. I also wasn't thinking that, but my sister said that in the middle of it, so I was like, oh no, you're being better than me. You're stealing all my viewers. Yeah. So I actually have some questions about questions to ask you.
Mm.
Do you still remember how do you speak Russian?
Oh yeah, it's my first language. Yeah,
You still do? Oh,
I,
that's really great.
I speak Russian at home. Yeah.
I think it's a really good advantage because I also speak Chinese. I speak Mandarin at home, and I can fully communicate with other people like just right now. So I think that's why I want to do business around the world because I know English and Chinese, so I can um, expand my father's business from China, go around the world
Hmm.
because I want. That's one of the things that I said before, right? Noticing your own advantage. That's my advantage, and that is why I want to do this.
Yep.
Do you know any like special? Do you have any skills that like other people doesn't like capable of doing?
Skills? Well, no, it's not something that other people aren't capable of doing, but what kind of skills? What kind of skills are you thinking?
Like playing an instrument. Yeah, playing an instrument. Yeah.
Playing an instrument. Well, I don't. Honestly, I used to play guitar long ago, but I can't play. I used to play the saxophone in middle school, but I can't play now. So, I'm. I don't really do any musical stuff. Well, I do mix like drum and bass songs on a DJ turntable with my mom time to time because she was a DJ. But if we're thinking skills, I actually played basketball for quite a while, and I personally think I was pretty good at it. Like, I was a good player in the team, or what else could I think of? Well, do you know the Claude Watson program?
Yeah.
I'm a film major there, so when you were talking about um, like movies and plots, I kind of remembered how in film we always discuss like story, and I'm gonna go a little bit off topic and circle back to what you said, but the reason so many films are popular because there's a concept that's called the hero's journey, and it looks like a clock. And you know how a clock has like 12 ticks. So
Yes,
there's
we
12
did the
different
hero's journey
points.
in English class. I remember.
Yeah, exactly. All movies follow, they have to follow that because it's like a common standard for Hollywood movies, and also it's what keeps like a human engaged. So if you go off that topic, despite as much as you wanna see something different, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get bored very quickly. If you're interested in that, you can watch experimental movies. They don't follow the plot, but they're a little crazy to watch.
They're not mainstream. Yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I feel like mainstream can go two ways. Just like what you said, one might go crazy, the other might become a god tier film. And also, I just want to say something, dude.
Yeah.
Your mom was a DJ? No
Yeah.
way. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Yo, what? A
I know.
mom as a
I'll
DJ? That's
send some
so
photos.
cool. Imagine my
I
mom being.
know.
I cannot imagine my mom being a DJ. But
Yeah, I have
my
really
dad
cool
used to
friends.
play basketball. I remember, but
Ooh.
he's not tall enough. This is what he told me when he was young. Oh no, when about his story when he was young. He said he used to get girls to give him like water, give him all the food because he's popular in school.
Oh my goodness. He's one of those kids.
Yeah, one of those kids in nowadays, in our school, that gets a lot of girls, and they just give them the food and everything, which is kind of funny. But they probably give them different stuff now because the time has changed.
Yeah.
Also, what do you think um, learn, about forcing to learn something? The thinking of like anything. For example, if I'm forced to learn how to uh, do a do art, which I'm not good at art. But what do you think about like forcing to do something?
I was forced to do math for 11 years. I'm joking, of course, but I had to, I mean, all of us had to do math in high school and elementary school and middle. It's absolute hell for me. I know it's my fault. I know I'm bad because I didn't study well enough. I fell off in grade 5 and grade 4, and everything went downhill. My math marks dropped my average so much. I think that I'm really happy that they forced me to do it because now at least I have some basic knowledge of it. and I've experienced it, and I know that math is not what I want to do. So I think it's important for us it's important for adults to make children do stuff to see if they're interested or not. Because if you don't, your child might not never try that thing out. Like for example, the math. If I never had it in school, maybe I would have thought in my adulthood that, oh, I could have been a genius mathematician if only I did math. But now I know that I'm not going to be a genius mathematician, and I'm thankful that I had a chance to do it. I'm happy that I'm out of there, though.
I also hate math. And another thing I want to say is that, a lot of parents in China, they force their child to take all those Olympic mathematics class because they want their kid to be the next star or something. But
Yeah.
what I want to say is that, when it comes to learning something, I believe it's always nice to learn something you're interested. And it's always nice to try out something new, get out of your comfort zone and trying out things that you never tried before. For example, doing this podcast right now. When maybe 1 year ago you asked me, I will never do a podcast. But now, I'm doing it for fun because it's always what matters is the purpose of what you're doing, and you shouldn't forget about why you're doing this. That comes up with me and my life. So yeah, and we've been recording for 47 minutes, and I think it's good enough.
Okay. I'm very happy that this was actually really interesting. I enjoyed it. Time passed quickly.
Yeah, Queen Dasha, you should do your goodbye. Do your goodbye to our viewers.
Goodbye. I just say goodbye.
Yeah, and then please don't steal my viewers. Maybe my viewers will fall in love with you because you're Queen Dasha.
I have more subscribers than you.
You never know. Maybe one day, it just blows up, and maybe later on, the concept of me recording my life on this podcast is really like, maybe years later, when I'm famous, people can dig this out and they can listen to this kid, and how he became who he is, and it's really cool. Yeah.
It is very interesting. It's like a diary. Well, thank you for having me here. Maybe if you would like, you can invite me some other time again. I'll be happy to chat with you and answer some stuff.
Of course, I will invite you, as long as you don't steal all my viewers, because I know they love me.
I won't steal them. They still have your viewers. They're still on your channel.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye. 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 By the way, I realized something. I gotta do my standard goodbye, which is bye bye. Bye bye. Oh yeah, also I forgot something. Well, one of the questions just for me, sent by Anon1192, is fave soccer player and team. Answer in Mandarin Chinese, whatevs. So, you definitely know English because you spell whatever wrong, right? I don't even know, is whatevs a word? And also you have a short form for fave. So I'm just gonna assume that you totally know English, so you're gonna listen to this podcast. Anyways, my favorite soccer player, 我最喜欢的球员是卡西利亚斯 Iker Casillas， 不知道为什么我很喜欢门将。然后另外一个呢是 my favorite team. My favorite team is, seriously, it depends on which league. In Premier League, I support Chelsea. 英超的话我是喜欢切尔西。意甲 Series R，I support Napoli. 我支持拿破列斯，但是拿破列斯 Champions League 欧冠 Champions League got knocked out, which is sad. And for La Liga, I got Real Madrid. You know Casillas, 卡西利亚斯嘛，皇马。然后就是Ligue 1 Uber E 那没啥好选的，说实话。你除了大巴黎，我也不看的东西，对吧？然后就是德甲也是。其实我觉得 League 1 League 1还有那个 Bundesliga 有点相似，都是这两个超级有钱的。但是德甲比那个谁好，比那个啥好看。德甲比 League 1好看，在我的 opinion。德甲我靠，这赛季是真的精彩。这赛季前三个队同时持平分数，我天！ 但是我挺喜欢那个叫什么，那个柏林那个啥，对吧？第3名那个 Union 忘了，反正这期视频就到这里了，对吧？So，拜拜，拜拜。